How about Blurple?
Yeah, so Blurple. Blurple is the deck that you really want to ramp, right? Your whole goal of the game, the whole reason why you are playing Sapphire is so that you can ramp. On turn 2, you want to go for your Tipo, or your, still the Eldrazi. You know, some lists decide to play Cinderella. I'm personally not a fan of it. Jordan, who's on the left-hand side, seems to agree with me. Doesn't play any Cinderellas here, but he does play a couple copies of Second Star to the right.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Yeah. You know what else I see here? He actually doesn't play any genies. It's kind of crazy in my opinion. Does play 3 Isis, Ice Queen of St. Canard though, so maybe that is his way out to victory here in the Dogs matchup. So we do have Jordan on the left-hand side. We have Justice on the right. Jordan is going to be piloting the Blurple deck, and I believe Justice is going to be piloting Dogs here, and we go straight into game number 1. Jordan here going to be inking the Let It Go, plays Basil, and it passes it over to Justice.
Yeah, so right now Justice is considering which is his first ink and first character need to place on board, and inking the lady and placing another lady on turn
inking a
1.
lady, playing a lady. It's going to be the family dog that goes under, and it's going to be the 1-drop Emerald Lady here. Whenever you do have a tramp on the board, she is able to quest for 1 more lore. For the side, a JV or Jordan Verity. He is going to be playing a Tipo here, is going to kind of force the question to Justice, right? He's like, hey, look, if you want to exert your lady, I will have answers to it. I can just go Basil, quest, support, Tipo, swing into lady here. He is going to be inking a card. We don't need to see what card that is necessarily, but I think Jordan's going to be pretty happy with that. Going to quest for the Basil.
Yeah, so inking the Tipo, playing a Tipo is a standard move for the Blurple players that need to be. I mean, when you're facing Emerald, you need to try to get faster into the mid game to become there's an advantage for the Blurple player, right? So right now, Justice is placing another lady on the table. And
yeah, I mean, typically we do want to see something like the Tramp come down here. Tramp is not going to be as effective as if he had played the Decisive Dog first, but is going to play 2 Decisive Dogs. So this is actually quite threatening because Jordan could go, Justice could go questing up for 7 if he wants to. Justice choosing to trade the lady, the Elegant Spaniel, with the Basil here. And it's going to leave the Tipo all by his lone himself.
Yeah. With Basil is a very key, crucial 1-drop for Blurple, like his support ability that can allow Tipo to swing to the lady
for 3. Yeah,
for free. Yeah,
exactly. So I think this is exactly what Justice kind of predicted, right? He saw the Tipo come down. He's like, I need to answer. So he saw the Basil come down. He knew he had to answer that. So he plays the Elegant Spaniel first, so that he can kind of trade evenly with that Basil, and then plays the 1-cost Decisive Dogs, so that it can kind of quest for free, right? If Justice here plays 3 1-drop characters, then yeah, I mean the Decisive Dogs can just quest for 6 in total, and it will swing the temple all over to the side of Justice. Jordan here, though, being able to play the Cheshire Cat is going to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, so right now, Justice plays the Comic Con for his dogs.
Yeah,
and you could, Jordan need to have the answer about the Comic Con, right?
Yeah.
You need to think about before. Think about how to challenge it or how to banish the lady while the Comic Con is on board.
Yeah, look, I mean, he does have answers into the Comic Con, right? I think he has 2 Wasabis in his deck. He will be able to play that later on. I think he's probably kicking himself just a little bit because I think the questing of the Basil there was a little bit on the greedy end. He is going to play Hades, and he is going to be looking for a deal. Does Justice give him that deal? We will see. I mean, I think here is not a bad choice to just let one of your ladies go under, but it also really depends on what Justice has in his hand. I believe I saw a family dog, so Justice could technically go wider, but giving 2 cards to Jordan doesn't feel great. Yeah, but it seems like he is going to be giving the 2 cards. That's a very telltale sign that Justice's hand doesn't really have too much going on here. Usually you wouldn't mind, I think, just sacrificing a unit to put underneath the deck, because giving 2 cards to Blood Roll never feels great.
Yeah, although always purple is always have engines to keep drawing cards, right? But extra 2 cards for Jordan will give him resources to try to manage the board, and is already in the mid game right now. Justice is still on zero lore right now. It's a little bit slow for Emerald dogs, right?
I mean, look, I think that's the skill difference between a good dog player and a very good dog player, right? So oftentimes you don't actually want to be questing super aggressively as dogs, because especially into Blur Ball, because you want to be able to play under the sea. Right, under the sea, you're only able to do that if you have a wide board, especially with the Tramp Street Smart dog. But here, the way that Jordan has built this Blurple list is so interesting. He is drastically reducing the number of cards that could potentially be under the seed. He plays a very heavy line of Hades looking for a deal. He plays a very heavy line of Ice Queen of Saint Canard. Plays the Dumbos, of course. Plays the Elsas, but does not opt to play the Genie's Wish Fulfilled. Typically, this Wish Fulfilled list is like a Wish Fulfilled card is a stock standard in Blurble.
Yep.
Right, you want it because it's a good quester.
Yeah,
it has a really good effect. It draws you a card, right, and it's evasive, very hard to deal with.
Yep.
Right, so Jordan opting not to play that feels pretty good in this kind of scenario. You see, it actually forces Justice to trade into. Forces Justice to trade into some of these units for the side of Jordan. He is going to be shifting the lady into the Miss Park Avenue, is going to slightly swing into Cheshire Cat. There we go, gets rid of the cat. But, yeah, I mean, that's going to be it. You don't get under the seed, but you are, Justice is actually playing the trading game. You're forcing Justice to play the trading game, which is really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's not, maybe it's not the type that Emerald players really willing to play in this game, but it's still fine. I mean, the situation right now is a little bit in a 50-50 game. Jordan needs to try to gain some board control, and I mean, Justice is good. The board is good for Justice, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Jordan here would really need to get rid of that lady, right? If he's able to get rid of the Miss Park Avenue here, and he uses the looking for a deal, the Hades to swing into the Decisive Dog, it would be a great turn. So we do see JV starting off by getting rid of the Decisive Dog. Is going to be bouncing back to Miss Park Avenue, if that's the case, because of the Emerald Chronicon, right? So JV going to be playing Sail the Ezra. See, going to draw a card from there. Going to see if he would like to ink and go for a ramp here, making some quick decisions. I think here, JV would likely look for, I don't know, Isis here doesn't feel great. Oh, going to be inking the Demona, going to be inking the Dumbo as well. Plays a second. Hades looking for a deal here. He is looking for this deal, but I don't think Justice is going to give it to him this time. Having one lady on the board is going to be okay. Having one lady not on the board, I think is going to be okay here, because you really don't want to be giving Jordan hand cards, and it's just one unit. I mean, you aren't able to play your Tramp next turn either ways. Yeah, so he's going to be putting the Elegant Spaniel to the bottom this time around. Not giving Jordan more cards, it's just going to be passing over there.
Yeah, so right now it's Justice. Justice do not have any characters on board right now, but there's Emerald, right? You got multiple tools for the players to rebuild the board within a single turn. I mean, especially when the set 11 is having a Grandmother Willow, right? Yeah,
but I mean, Justice is not drawing the Grandmother Willow. He's has a second Chronicon in his hand. He's got the ladies that was bounced back up. So he could go for like a double Decisive Dog turn, but it feels really bad. And there's only one lady Decisive Dog in his discard pile, so that means that you can't really start. Even if you recur the Miss Park Avenue, it doesn't feel great.
Yeah, you cannot fully utilize the ability, right? So, Justice right now is just discard the Chromicon at the second Chromicon to the discard pile and placing two ladies or a small lady on the board and try to maintain the board with ball
Presence, yeah.
pressure. Yeah, ball presence. And right now it's back to Jordan's turn with two Hades looking for a deal on board. Is it a little bit? It's kind of a little bit slow for Jordan right now, right?
No, I honestly think Jordan is a great spot. I mean, having two Hades looking on the deals, the bodies aren't the biggest, but it's still pretty relevant here. And not only that, he's going to be playing Hades Inferno Schemer, going to be sending one of the Decisive Dogs into that Inkwell. So one less shift target, one less target for Justice to kind of quest a massive questing turn for the future turns to come. Hades Infernal Schemer is definitely going to let JV here scheme a little bit so that he can draw more. Hey, and I mean, look, guess what? I'm seeing a lot of Hades on JV's deck. I wonder if it's just a Hades themed deck instead of Lurple,
Yeah. So right now, Jordan's a quest for 2 with 2 Hades looking for a deal and up to 6 lore versus Justice with 0 lore right now. And he's considering which character need to place on board. And because because Little Escape Artist in hand and Tramp Street Smart Dog in hand.
Yeah, look, Justice here can play the Tramp Street Smart Dog here because he has actually 5 ink, and that's a pretty healthy amount of ink for Justice to have as the Dogs player now. Could play the Tramp, draw for 2, discard the Lilo Escape Artist and 1 more card. Wouldn't feel too bad for you to do that. I mean, you do have access to the Lilo Escape Artist at any point in time. If you do that, yep, he is opting for that play. And on top of that, you could discard an uninkable if you want to. There is a Mowgli. There is another Tramp Enterprising Dog here. It's definitely going to be the Lilo. And I think, yeah, Justice is looking at the Mowgli there.
Yeah, but we talked about yesterday that which character you choose between Lilo, Mowgli and Ursula,
yeah.
right? So Justice is good for Mowgli, and he got 2 Mowgli in his deck.
Wait, he only plays 2 Mowglis?
Yeah, without any Ursula.
Okay. So, because he's going down. No, he is playing 4 Ursulas. There we go.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
I
Yeah,
was like,
but,
2 Mowglis and no Ursulas is crazy. There is no way.
But then extra 2 Mowgli will be a game changer, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, typically you would see like a 3-3 split, right, of Mowgli and Ursula. So I think he's opting for Ursulas because he wants to combat the mirror matchups a little bit more. And in the Blurple matchup, it actually helps a lot because you're able to get rid of stuff like Let It Go, like Into the Unknown. And these are things which you get to choose as the player playing Ursula instead of Mowgli, right? Because Mowgli lets your opponent choose. So let's say he has like a Sylvie Asteroid Sea and a Let It Go. You can't get rid of the Let It Go. Because you just gotta let it go. You gotta let JV decide instead.
Yeah, but we are already in the top 16, so we are open deck list for both players. And Justice must notice that JV got second star to the right in his deck. Yeah. Another target that Ursula can discard.
For sure, but look, Jordan doesn't even need second star to the right now. Plays the Demona, Scourge of the Wyvern Clan. Is going to be able to exert all characters on Justice's side. He knows that Justice had a pretty decent hand already because I think he had 2 cards in hand, if I'm not wrong, because of the Tramp. So that means that you're not giving too much value for the Dogs player. You are instead gaining value yourself. Jordan here is going to be playing the Hypnotic Strength here just to draw a card. Gives the challenger to the Hades looking for a deal. Hades looking for a deal is going to be able to deal with, I think the... he's just questing here. So he's questing for 3 with the Hades looking for a deal as well as the Infernal Schemer, bringing him up to 9 lore. And then he's going to swing using the last buffed up, looking for a deal. Hades on to the Decisive Dog of Justice.
Yeah, so Justice just choose to bounce back the Demona of Jordan back to his hand due to the Comic Con's ability.
Yeah.
And right now is Justice's turn.
Yeah, look, I mean, Jordan, I think, is going to be pretty happy with that. He gets to replay the Demona if he wants to. That means no matter what Justice plays, it is always going to be exerted, right? So this is the answer, and I think Jordan here was very, very prepared for this dog's matchup. It is still slightly unfavored, but with his list, it feels like there are so many more tools for Jordan to utilize to actually play it out, right? To play this matchup out.
Yep. So we just saw Justice before he start of his turn and choose to play the Lido from his discard, and we saw the Justice ink the Rhino and placing another Lido on board.
Yeah, look, really prioritizing the Lilos there, I think is a smart idea because these are units which you can keep playing from your discard pile as long as you are able to play it. Justice here going to be playing the Enterprising Dog, is going for the trading route. I think he is going to choose the Street Smart Dog. Indeed, he does. He's going to be able to get rid of the two Lord Quester for the side of JV, gets rid of the Inferno Schemer. And you don't really see it that often, but here the Street Smart Dog is going to go for a swing. Right, so Justice here going to get rid of the Hades Inferno Schemer, is going to be able to quest for one thanks to Bobby Zemersky. So yeah, really overall, I think good turn for the side of Justice. His board is looking a lot wider, a lot more healthy, a lot more intact right now. Jordan needs to find an answer.
Yep. So right now Justice is looking through the Jordan's discard pile and understand what he already used, and JV is right now considering how to react to this wide board of Justice. I mean, Justice has already built a wide board with at least 8 lore in total on board. And then, I mean, right now it's 8 lore differences, but it's easy for the Emerald players to come back.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, look, Jordan, the problem with Blur Brawl is that there's a lot of single target removal. It's a lot of good single target removal, but there aren't a lot of ways to deal with an extremely wide board. And this is the target, this is the problem that Jordan needs to solve, right? Thankfully, he has 2 Hades looking for a deal, so he will be able to swing into things like the Tramp, Street Smart Dog, as well as the Lilo, which have currently been exerted. Or, you could just have a Isis Vanishel.
Yeah, so Isis, when you place Isis, you can exert one opponent's characters. And we reminded that Jordan still got a Demona in his hand.
That's right.
So he can still exerting the whole board of the opponent and try to make some damage to the opponent, right?
And look, the damage is definitely the answer here. You do have a Rafiki that can answer. You do have a Cheshire Cat that you can answer. Jordan here, interestingly enough, going for the questing route instead, trying to put additional pressure, trying to race Justice here, bring him up to 11. Jordan is going to be inking Sail the Ezra Sea. He still has, I believe, a Demona in his hand. I didn't see it go in the ink well, right?
Yeah, I'm not so sure, but I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for a wide board here, so that means next turn he will be able to quest for 5, bringing him up to 16. So Justice is working on a 2-turn timer here. Even if Justice decides to go for the questing route here, there is 8 lore that he can gain next turn, so it's 8, 16, 24. So Justice needs 3 turns to win unless he can go for an unless he can go for a wider board this turn.
Yeah, but we just saw that Justice had another C in his hand, but unfortunately, Jordan does not have too much low strength character on board, just the Rafiki.
Yeah, can you imagine playing Under the Sea just to get rid of one Rafiki? Feels pretty bad.
Yeah, that's not a good option. So Under the Sea may keep in Justice's hand, and he needs to find the answer on board, and that's a difficult option, right?
Yeah, look, he is eyeing up the Tramp. I think the Tramp is going to punch into the Hades, looking for a deal here. That is the first swing that Justice is doing. Justice is going to be playing 3, tapping 4, tapping 5. It is going to be the Miss Park Avenue. You want to play the Tramp again. You want to be able to recur it. You want to be able to buff another unit so that it can take a swing at one of these Hades. You need to start slowing Jordan down. And this is exactly what Justice is aiming for. He is likely going to be tapping 1 for the Enterprising Dog that just went into the discard pile. It will be the Enterprising Dog is choosing to buff A character up for 5.
Uh,
So Justice looking, deciding what does he want to swing into it. Bobby may not be a bad idea to get rid of a look. Hades looking for a deal here is going to target the Lilo instead. The reason why you do that is because you can play the Lilo from your discard pile next turn and just do it all over again.
Yep. So still considering because it's game time, right? It's only got 2 more rounds for Justice to come back, and you need to consider it very clearly and start to calculate the damage counter very much. And we saw Justice just casting the under the sea with the other characters and just sending the only
Rafiki inside, yeah.
only Rafiki back to Jordan's deck.
I mean, look, you could potentially do that to slow down the game just because you don't want the Rafiki swinging into something like the Lilo or the Bobby Zamersky here. So I guess that's fine. Feels really bad still, but I guess if you got to do it, you got to do it.
Yeah, I mean it's not. I mean it's not a good trade, right? So we're seeing the Jordan's inking Dumbo and placing the Demona on board, exerting the Justice board.
Yeah, Demona is going to be pretty clutch here. You are going to be able to take some pretty favorable trades thanks to the help of Cheshire Cat. Cheshire Cat could potentially swing into this Tramp Street Smart Dog here, leaving 2 damage counters on it, and then you can just boost your Cheshire Cat so that you can fling the 2 damage over to the side of Lilo. I like this line. I like this play that Jordan is plotting out. You should be able to get rid of that lady, Miss Park Avenue, this turn as well. But keep in mind, Emerald Chromnicon is still active. So every single time Jordan gets rid of a character, banishes a character, Justice can bounce another character back to Jordan's hand if it's on his side of the field. If not, he can choose his own characters to bounce. So something like the Enterprising Dog so that Justice can replay that again to get rid of one of the bigger units for the side of Jordan.
Yeah. So if you keep reusing the Enterprising Dog, you can keep boosting your own character and try to banish Jordan's side. And we're seeing the Jordan's quest with Izzy, Hades, and Treasure Cat and make himself up to 14 lore right now. I believe Jordan is going for lore and try to beat Justice with lore control right this time.
Yeah, look, Jordan is not letting Justice play the game. He is just going to go for a quest. He's forcing Justice to deal with his board. He's like, look, I'm not going to deal with yours. You've got a Chromnicon there. That's not fair. So you have to answer me, right?
Yep.
I've got now 5 lore on the board. I don't have lethal next turn necessarily. Oh, wait, nope, I have a T-Pull. So now I do have lethal next turn. Justice, you need to swing into my board without using your Tramp Enterprising Dog. I really like this play from Jordan.
Yeah, still you have to find the answer. And I mean, with the Emerald, most character is not with enough strength to deal with the Amethyst player on board right now, and you need to find the correct answer. Is a difficult option for Justice.
Yeah, look, Justice is not in the best of spots. He's only got 3 lore right now. That's an 11 lore difference. Justice here has 3 cards, so that is a good answer. So thinking about whether he wants to play the Lilo Escape Artist from his discard pile, ensuring that he has enough ink to do what he wants to do this next turn, right? So just ensuring that he can, just maximize his cards in his hand. He does have the Miss Park Avenue. He does have the Delamoon Lullaby. I can't quite see what that last card is. It looks like a Lady Decisive Dog. But yeah, that's going to be the decision from Justice. Going to be playing that Lilo Escape Artist here. So draws him a card. It looks like there's another Under the Sea, but Under the Sea is going to get rid of the Tipo should he decide to do that. But if you once again Under the Sea for just 1 unit, it never feels great.
Yeah, so we do see Justice do it in the previous time, but is it we're going to do another time in the same round, right? In the same turn, in the same game. So Justice is playing the Lullaby, and reducing Easy's strength, and draw an extra card, and placing a lady to safety dog on board.
So yeah, look, he plays the lady. He reduces the strength of the Isis Vandal. The reason why he would do something like that is so that he can swing using the Miss Park Avenue to kind of trade favorably into the Vandal, right? And he doesn't lose his Miss Park Avenue himself. But here, I really like what Justice is doing. He's keeping all the Miss Park Avenues in his hand. He's bringing back the Enterprising Dog every single time. He's going to be using the Enterprising Dog to just buff up his other characters. Here, I do want to see him utilize, I think, Bobby Zamirsky to swing in just a little bit. Actually, no, look, is that ink? I think that is ink, right? So he's inked the Lady Decisive Dog, so that means he will have the one ink left to play the Tramp Enterprising Dog. Yeah, so it's going to be increasing the strength of... No? Oh, it's going to undersea here. Going to be sending the Tipo and the Vandal back to the bottom of the deck. Thanks to the reduction of strength on the Delamoon's Lullaby. Now, Jordan is quite a whiles away from actually closing up the game. There's going to be 2 more turns left instead of the one that Justice was facing earlier.
Yeah, so with Justice can use still using the only ink in his inkwell, try to buff the Lady Miss Park Avenue with the Tramp Enterprising Dog.
No, you don't have to do that because there's enough strength on the Lady Miss Park Avenue to deal with this Cheshire Cat right now. So no need to be utilizing the Enterprising Dog at this point in time because you can just use it next turn to deal with the Demona. Yeah. This game feels very different. It feels as if Dogs is doing the Blurple thing and Blurple is doing the Dogs thing.
Yeah. I mean, the Blurple is going quite fast this game, and right now is Emerald players is Justice is trying to control with his deck, and both Justice and Jordan's board. I mean, with the Comic-Con, I mean, you can still keep utilizing your own cards, your on the play ability, and try to utilize different abilities on his own board and try to manage the board, right?
Yeah. Here, Jordan is going to be playing the Elsa. Fifth Spirit here is going to be questing for 3, bring him up to 17. Once again, forcing Justice to deal with his board. This is so interesting. It's usually the other way around, but JV is like, hey, I've got the lore on my side. I've got the tempo advantage. I've got the points, the lore advantage. Justice, you're going to feel the pain of Blurple. You're going to deal with my board instead.
Yeah. I leave the question to Justice and how to answer the question. And right now, Jordan is sitting on 17 lore, and with at least 5 lore on board. And right now, Justice just placing the Grandmother Willow and the third Lilo on board, and with with the Tramp, buffing the Bobby and swing it into the Demona.
Yeah, I mean, finally we do see Bobby taking the hit that he really wanted. Just JV is currently at 17 lore, so with 2 lore on the board, that brings Jordan up to 19. He's 1 lore away. Justice is going to be questing with the rest of his ward. This is the turn that Justice was waiting for. This is the opportunity that he wants. He has gained right now, I think something like 10 lore? Yeah, it brings him 9 lore, so bringing him up to 11. Justice does have lethal, I believe. That is going to be 14 lore on Justice's board right now. JV needs to find an answer. He needs to find a way out of this. I want to see some of the utility that Blurple brings. Let it go. You know, he doesn't have Into the Unknown. Can't play that. Instead, needs to start swinging or trading favorably for the side of Jordan. You know, even Cheshire Cat here would be massive, right? Could start shifting the damage from the Tramp Street Smart Dog over to the Miss Park Avenues. So from there, you're just kind of getting rid of some of the lore on Justice's side of the field. Even Elsa here swinging into the Lady Miss Park Avenue would feel pretty good as well. Just get rid of some of the board which Justice can't bring back from the discard pile.
Yeah, so few turns back, we're just saying, oh, Justice need to manage the board, right? So and the advantage is on Jordan's side. I mean, oh, few turns later, Justice already managed to take full control of the board and need just Jordan have to answer back. That's the that's the art of Emerald right now in the meta.
Yeah, I really like the patience that Justice had whilst playing this game. He still has Lethal on board. He still has 12 lore on the board, with Justice being 11. That is going to be game if Jordan doesn't clear more of Justice's units. I do want to see the exertion of a 2 lore yeah, 2 lore character. Doesn't matter. He's going to exert the Grandmother Will. Is going to swing into the lady here. So Justice can just bounce a character back. Is going to be bouncing the Ice Suspender Chill. Jordan going to be playing. Is going to be playing that replaying the Isis here. Justice 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's going to be game. Jordan just short of 1 lore, not being able to get the Wasabi here hurt him. And I think not boosting on the Cheshire earlier felt pretty bad, right? I mean, you could technically swing and then boost your Cheshire so that you can shoot the damage counters over, but
Yep.
that didn't happen, and Jordan decided to go for the slightly more aggressive route.
I mean, yeah, we just saw at different games that we typically usually see with Blurple versus Sea Dogs, right?
Yeah.
Blurple is kind of keeping going aggressively
Yep.
and on lore pressure and tries to keep on scoring different lore and try to maintain the higher score. And I mean, another different way for a Sea Dogs player how to win a game with a control deck, right?
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, it really felt as if the game was kind of flipped on its head. Because
Yeah,
usually dogs, it doesn't go for the trades. Dogs
Yep.
will just will go for the quests, right? It
Yep.
will be the one ahead in lore, will be the one kind of dictating the pace of the game. So it was really nice to see just how dogs can be played differently. I think Justice played that very, very, very well. And I'll be very interested to see how game 2 is going to look like. JV, once again, going to be starting first. Very likely going to be starting first
Yep.
in the second game. I mean, for side of JV, I wonder if he had played the usual game of Blurple, if he would have been able to find an answer out of it. I don't think that's going to be the case. I feel like if he decided to start trading, I don't think he would have had the answers or have enough gas to kind of go play through that round. So JV here in a little bit of a pickle, losing 1 round down to Dogs, even though he kind of was leading or slated to kind of win game number 1.
Yeah, so he's prepared for matching with Dogs, but unfortunately, is down game 1 right now, and he's trying to at least to secure another game to make this round 16 to game 3 and for the final, right?
Yeah, look, I think JV here, besides saying draw better,
Yep.
I don't know what else he could have done that game, you know?
Yeah, because he's already not using Genie, wish fulfilled, and try to gain put more higher strength characters on board and try to avoid the effects of Under the Sea while matching Sea Dogs player, right?
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
But you need to keep drawing and find answers, find the right cards at the right moment, and try to beat the tempo of the Emerald decks.
Yep, yep. So guys, just for clarification, there was a card that was just upside down. So I think the judge kind of spotted that and just reversed the card. I think they may just reshuffle. So they're just having a quick discussion right now what to do. I believe the judge is going to just do a reshuffle of the deck, and I think that would be okay. And I think they can be continuing on with the game here. So yeah, Dogs versus Blurple. I mean, this is a matchup of till the end of time. Typically Blurple is unfavored, but the way that JV has kind of built this list is supposed to be a little bit is supposed to be able to deal with Dogs a little bit better.
Yeah. So right now JV is going first again in game 2, and considering which cards to be aimed.
Yeah, look, they're going straight into game number 2 here, guys. This is the top 16 round of the Taipei DLC. It is a best of 3. We do see Justice versus Jordan. JV is going to start first. Justice to game number 1. Both players are off to a great start. Justice being able to play Lady Elegant Spaniel, and Jordan is going to start off with the 1-2 punch of Blurple. Basil and Tipo are going to be his answers on his side of the board. Justice now has to punch back.
Yep, so Justice inking the Ursula and placing Grandmother Velo on board. And yeah, we finally see Justice using the Grandmother Velo in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Grandmother Willow was completely absent in the first game, but now we do see it come down in combination with the enterprising Doug as well. Chooses not to play the quest with the Lady Elegant Spaniel, knows that it's going to get traded off with the Basil support Tipo combination, so opts not to take any risks right from the start.
Yep, so we'll Justice know that he can just make his game slower, try to manage the board while facing this matchup, right?
Yeah.
So he already get the first game win.
For sure, and look, Jordan playing Isis Vantage here, this is the power of playing Isis instead of Genie. You're able to deal with some of the questions that Justice is asking. You're like, okay, look, Grandmother Willow's on the field. Do I want to exert Grandmother Willow? Yeah, no problem. Do I want to exert Tramp? No problem. Lady? Also an option. You know, so I think here, in my opinion, if I was in the Blurple player's shoes, if I was in JV's shoes, I think exerting the Grandmother Willow would be pay off in the long run. You don't want to keep giving Justice discounts in terms of being able to play characters from his hand. So getting rid of Grandmother Willow, I think, would be a good choice, but I don't mind seeing the Spaniel as well go down. Basil is going to quest. We are going to see the Tipo swing into the Lady there.
So yeah, especially when you see the Emerald Comic-Con is not yet on board right now, and it's time for JV try to manage the board before Justice can keep growing his board wider and wider and wider. And Bobby is on table right now and allowing Justice to search for another cards. Grandmother Velo is in this card. Inking the Lady Family Dog. And oh, I just thought about it. Another Comic-Con is out right now.
The Comic-Con is out right from the get-go. Is going to use the Tramp to get rid of the Basil. No more Basil for the side of JV. Grandmother Willow going to swing into Tipo.
Yep.
Yeah, because Tipo had the 1 damage earlier because he swung into the Lady here. Justice, once again, using his units from the earlier on to just get rid of some of the board from Jordan's side. Things aren't looking too hot for Jordan at this point.
Yeah. Brian, can you tell me, is it crucial for Jordan to find his Wasabi right now?
Wasabi would help massively, right, for the side of Jordan. I mean, we didn't see a single Wasabi the whole of the first game. So, I mean, he is bound to draw Wasabi eventually, right? But here, I think Jordan needs to, wouldn't mind seeing something like the Elsa, the Fifth Spirit, be able to get rid of something on Justice's side of the board. I think he can afford to use Isis to swing into Grandmother Willow, even without the Wasabi. Justice would then, I think, just bounce the Isis back to Jordan's hand, but then you can just use the Elsa and Elsa to continue swinging at the board. But yeah, Wasabi will help a lot. He plays 2, so hopefully he draws 1 soon. If not, it may be a little bit difficult for Jordan to deal with. Keep in mind, difference between this game and last game, Jordan is only 1 lore up to Justice. The previous game, he was like 7, right, by now.
Yep. So right now, Justice, Jordan, my bad. Jordan is inking the Mona in his inkwell, and considering Isis to trade with Grandmother Willow, and Justice decide to bounce back Isis to Jordan's hand, and Treasure Cat is out for Jordan and boosting and placing the 2 damage counter on Justice Bobby, and bounce back the Treasure Cat with boost card to Jordan's hand, refueling another card to Jordan's hand.
Yeah, I really like this play that Jordan just did, right? He was able to play Cheshire Cat. He was able to take out 2 units. Yeah, you don't mind the bounces because Isis can just exert one of Justice's characters, and he can also gain the extra card from Cheshire Cat's boost ability, right? Because all cards under the character does follow the card wherever the card goes. So if the card goes back to hand, all the boosted cards underneath Cheshire Cat does go back to hand. If it goes into the Inkwell, likewise, all the cards under Cheshire Cat does go straight into the Inkwell as well. Justice here going to be questing with the Tramp Enterprising Dog, and now Jordan is the one that's needing to find the answers.
Yeah, without any characters on board right now, and just place using the Junior Witcher guidebook and banish it right away and draw extra 2 cards into his hand. Iago is inked, Treasure Cat is placed on board, and pass the turn to Justice. Oh my god, another
Double Chronicon drops on the board. It means every single character that gets traded off from the side of Justice can bounce 2 characters back. As if 1 wasn't bad enough, now JV has to be worried about 2.
Yep, so he need to find 2 Wasabi, right? He need to find 2 Wasabi and try to gain some advantage, gain back some advantage. And we saw Jordan using the Hades to send character cards into Justice Inkwell.
Yeah, but I mean, look, the board. This is so well played from the side of Justice. It is so nice to see dogs being played differently. You know, so far on stream we've only seen dogs being played in the hyper aggressive style, always going for the quest. But Justice here is showing us a masterclass on how to play dogs slightly differently. If your opponent is playing in a non-standard method, dogs can do that too.
Yeah, with 2 Emerald Chronicons on board, I mean, Justice can take the game slow.
Yeah, he can afford to just slowly build out his board. He can afford to slowly take things in his own pace. But keep in mind, this is Blurple. This is the deck with all the answers, apparently. So he has, like, Let It Go. He has Hades. So if Justice takes too long, then JV can start to take initiative.
Yeah. So right now it's JV's turn, and he's considering which cards to be inked.
Look, I don't mind. I mean, look. Yeah, JV has second star to the right. He can actually sing it right now. There are a total of 10 characters. You're not going to see it. I think 2 characters being exerted here is going to be singing second star to the right. We are going to see the 5 cards being drawn from the side of JV. 7 ink left to use. He can play another Hades Infernal Schemer and also has a higher chance of getting Wasabi. This is the way that JV has chosen to play the deck, and it is going to be massive for him if he sees the Wasabi this turn.
Yeah, you have to search for Wasabi this turn because double Chronicon is hard. Well, at least 1 Chronicon is hard to deal with, and double Chronicon, oh my god. And we saw Hades is just come out and sending another characters to Justice Inkwell and placing the Rafikis on board.
Yeah, I mean, Luke, getting the second Hades is also really big. Now, Jordan's side is looking very healthy, has 4 characters on the board, has a total of 6 lore that he can quest every single time. Justice just going to be hard playing. The Tramp Street Smart Dog draws 1, discards 1, draws into the Nani, and the Tramp. I think discarding the Tramp here is not a bad idea. It lets you dig into your deck a little bit deeper to find more 1 or 2 drop cards. I mean, at this point of the game, JV does not need to answer any of the units from the side of Justice, because if he just draws 1 more Hades, he draws 1 more Let It Go, he's going to let it go all on that Tramp, sending it straight to the Inkwell if he wants to. Jordan in a really good game state right now.
Yeah, so Jordan, oh, the third Hades.
There we go. This is what I mean. This is why people played second star to the right back in Fabled format, right?
Yep.
Being able to draw your whole deck is massive here. We are going to see Jordan questing out for 6. It is really good.
Yeah, so with right now the Hades, the third Hades is coming down, and the whole board is questing out with Jordan. Like, he's up to 8 Lord right now.
Yeah, so right now, Jordan's board is really healthy, so it should be good. Jordan has so many units right now. It's completely flooding board. Justice has so many questions that he needs to answer. It is it's not easy for Justice to be in this kind of state. You know, I think Justice has a lot of ink at this point in time, but without anything to answer, with only one card in hand, with only Nani in hand, I'm not sure what he can do. So Jordan here going to be questing out. It is going to be 6 lower gain for the side of JV. That brings him up to 8. 8 is 2. But keep in mind, this game was very different state, yeah, from the previous one. So it seems like Justice is going to scoop here. JV going to bring this to a game number 3 in a top 16 matchup.
Yeah, so right now, we're just in game 1. Justice can manage the board. Yeah, so game 2, already Jordan tried to get into mid game early and maintain the board control. Oh, we're just. I mean, I'm speechless. Yeah, because,
Literally speechless, right?
yeah,
But, I mean,
because this is not the typical game that we usually see both players will do. Like Blur Pro is trying to gain lore in the early game and try to keep scoring lore. And I mean, is Emerald players try to control the board, swinging to the characters. I mean,
we're in a weird place right now. But you know what?
The pacing is weird, right?
Yeah, but look, I think now that we see Justice is going to go first, right? So I wonder if we're going to see a change of play style where Justice starts to go take the aggressive route, right?
Yeah.
I think what Justice has done really well, because now we're in an open decklist format, right? So that means Justice knows all the different tech cards that JV is playing. I wonder if he has made this play style adjustment not just on the fly, not because he's seeing the way that JV is playing and kind of adjusting it, but because he sees this different style of deck that JV has built, right? Once again, let me repeat ourselves. JV is not playing genies. He's playing Isises instead. So that means that you're able to exert more characters on your side. JV is also playing more Wasabis. So that means you'll be able to get rid of the Chronicons, find a way to get rid of the Chronicons that much easier. Right, JV is also playing Hypnotic Strength. These are all cards which kind of signify that JV is going for a slightly different blurple play. It's not of the full control styles. It feels a little bit more like a tempo kind of deck that JV is playing, as well as the biggest additions of the second star to the right.
Yeah. So right now, Justice I believe Justice will go first in the game 3. Will slightly different with the game 1 and game 2, and which Jordan need to play second and try to get back the advantage, right?
Yeah. Look, I'm very excited to see this match. We've seen such good matches from both Justin and Jordan. I mean, it's such a pleasure to see these two players playing here at the top 16. Jordan here has been traveling around around Asia. He's participated in Singapore DLC, the Hong Kong DLC. I know he also played in the DLC that happened at Melbourne as well. He's managed to top cut every single DLC. This is a player that has been super, super consistent. And it's so good to see him here back at the top 16, hopefully making a deep run this time. Justice, though, is also no stranger to being here in top cut as well, has had multiple, I think, placings at DLCs as well. So this is going to be another quality match.
Yeah, Lady Decisive Dogs is coming out for Justice. It's a perfect turn 1 play for Justice right now. And the standard starting procedure for Jordan with purple players, like inking 1 card for Basil in turn 1. He's inking Tipo, and so I believe that he's got Tipo or Sell the Azraisi in his hand. And second AD for Justice is right now, but I mean, he's only cast one cost character in turn 2 is a little bit slower.
No, I think it doesn't matter, because the thing is, look at his hand. He's got 2 Nani stage managers. He's got an Emerald Chronicon. He's got the Street Smart Dog. So he is able to go wide next turn, right? He just inks something, plays the Nani, gets another 2 cost character. Hopefully it's Grandmother Willow, and it keeps going from there. Jordan here going to be playing the Sail the Azurite instead of the Tipo here. Refills his hand, signifying that maybe Jordan doesn't really have the best cards in his hand. Has a lot of his one drops right now. Playing the Rafiki here, playing a little bit more defensively instead.
Yeah.
So I like this Rafiki. I like this Basil because these are two answers that you can have to a decisive dog, right? Justice here going to be inking the Della Moon. Lullaby is going to play the Chronicon here. Decides not to quest. Yeah, decides not to quest. Passes it over to JV. Once again, taking the slightly slower route that we've seen the dog players kind of adapt to. Because next round he can ink one, play Nani, play one more one drop if he can find some one drop from the top 4 cards, and then on turn 5 play the Tramp.
Yeah. So taking it slow is well we Justice demonstrate well how Emerald can take it slow and try to manage the board while purple players is keep controlling, try to control. But yeah, I mean right now Justice is kind of controlling the board right now, and Isis is coming down for Jordan and exerting the Lady Decisive Dog of Justice.
Yeah, but here, I mean, if you, so use the Rafiki to swing into the decisive dog here, I think Justice is going to be likely bounce back to Basil. I mean, Basil, I'm actually surprised Jordan didn't quest the Basil just yet. I guess he didn't want to give an easy answer for Justice to respond to the Basil by playing, by answering with the Elegant Spaniel. But here, bounces the Isis back to Jordan's hand. Justice going to be playing the 90 Stage Manager, the card that we were talking about just now. Going to be able to look at the top 4 cards of his deck, choose a 2 or 1 cost character, put it to his hand, and then if Justice so chooses to do so, is able to put ink a card and then play that one drop.
Yeah, because there's a lady on the table already, and Tram is available for one cost lax to place it on board. But Justice decides not to place the, not to ink and not to place the Tram on board right now. And turn is passed back to Jordan, and Jordan with 4 ink in his ink well. Isis is available in his hand, and will he casting the Isis again and try to manage Justice board? Although there is a Chronicon on Justice side, there's a lot of calculation on Jordan's mind right now. And we're also seeing Dumbo and Elsa in Jordan's hand with a second star to the right.
Yeah, second star on the right doesn't feel great now because there isn't a lot of large characters for the side of JV. JV is going to be playing the Elsa, the First Spirit, inks one, exerts one. Going to be the Elegant Spaniel here. Is going to be the Elegant Spaniel here. It is... he is going to be able to get rid of it. Justice is going to bounce the Isis back to... the Elsa back to Jordan's hand. So, Jordan... not being able to sing second star, but is going to be constantly getting rid of units for the side of Justice. The Common Corn doing so much work here for Justice. JV needs to find out Wasabi as soon as he can.
Yeah, but still, if you bounce back the Elsa back to Jordan's hand, the exerting ability and the rush is keep giving solutions for Jordan to manage the Justice board.
Yeah, Justice going wide on the board right now. Nani, Grandma the Willow, Lady, and the Tramp on the board. By the way, I just want to mention that, the Lady Elegant Spaniel and the Tramp Enterprising Dog, the artwork looks absolutely gorgeous. It's basically connecting. And when you play it like that, it looks it looks like one piece.
Yeah, they're continuous art, but unfortunately, there's no bounders card in that set just now. But we do have some boundary-less card in the later set. I mean, at least in set 11, we got a different bounders card that in a foil version that you can collect. Yeah, they're gorgeous, and you need to place it together with find the frames to frame it together.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean those cards, the cards that they started printing from Reign of Jafar have looked absolutely amazing, and I think they've usually gotten a pair in every release thus far. But here we go back to the game. We do see Nani being played for the side of Justice. Look at the top 4 cards of his hand, of his deck once again. Being able to find that Tramp Enterprising Dog is going to be useful in taking favorable trades for the side of Justice. Jordan and Justice, this game is looking very different from the first 2 games. Both players having 0 lore, and this is probably turn 6, turn 7 at this point.
Yep. So both players try to uh, make the game slow, and especially when the Comic Cons is on the board, and Jordan need to calculate, Justice need to calculate, Jordan need to calculate which character need to be banished, and Justice needs to calculate which character bounces back, whether it's Jordan's character or his own character bounces back to maximize the ability of those cards. So right now it's back to Jordan's turn, and with 6 ink in his hand, 5 ink is used for Elsa, 5th Spirit, and exerting one of Justice non-stage manager, and Basil is supporting, and
Yeah, I think Basil's going to be supporting the Elsa here. Is going to be questing for 1. Elsa is going to get rid of that Nani stage manager. Now Justice going to be able to bounce a character back to JV's hand. Is going to be the Elsa of choice. Now JV is going to be inking the Iago. Ooh, leaving 2 ink up means that Jordan doesn't really have a small body to play like a Tipo or even the Sail the Azurite Sea. And yeah, I mean, I've got one question. Where is Wasabi? I mean, he plays 2 copies of that card. He's been digging, but can't seem to find it. And yet, Justice here being able to play the Tramp right now for 2 is huge. Manages to discard away the 2 Lilos as well. This is the turn that Justice has been waiting for.
yeah, the 2 Lilo to escape artists in this card is great for Justice. Like, he can utilize it anytime he wants, and we do see that he is able to search for another Comic Con in his hand right now, and using stage manager, non-stage manager, to banish Jordan's Basil.
Yeah, Justice is looking a lot more confident as this game goes on. He is able to start questing here. We are going to see quests coming out from Tramp as well as Grandmother Willow. He knows that if he exerts his characters here, it is at risk at being taken out by the Rafiki mystical fighter on the left-hand side for JV. But look, if JV decides to swing, Justice can just bounce.
Yeah, and yeah, you can still bounce back the Tramp, Street Smart Dog to his Justice hand, and yeah, keep finding answers, keep
Just
searching
dig,
for cards.
dig, and dig.
Yeah, so Grandmother Willow is banished of Justice, and okay, Justice decide to bounce back stage manager back to his hand.
Yeah,
and
I mean, look, you can just keep digging through your deck, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is what Justice wanted. Justice kind of baited this out. He was like, hey, look, you can get my Grandmother Willow. I have another one. But if you trigger my Emerald Promnicon, I'm just going to be able to keep finding units, keep playing units. And guess what? I don't even need to use my Escape Artists anymore. I can just keep digging. And this way of playing, this slower way of playing from Justice is so, so nice to see.
Yeah, so facial expression of Jordan is not doing quite well right now, and he needs to find answers, and maybe keep challenging is not an option for him.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder at this point, he's at 7 ink, so not slamming down the Hades Infernal Schema is also a very telltale sign, right? That he doesn't have that in hand. I wonder if JV should just keep inking up to 10 and then hard play the second start to the right that we saw him have, and hopefully draws into the Wasabi, or hopefully draws into some of the answers that he needs. I mean, we saw in Game 2 how Hades Infernal Schemer kept being how he was able to keep playing Hades Infernal Schemer to keep sending cards into Justice's Ink, well, as a way of dealing with or side dealing with the Chronicon here. JV looks like he's going to be inking Let It Go, but I feel like playing it would be really helpful here. Just get rid of the Tramp.
Okay, JV exert 5 ink, try to exert Grandmother Willow, and with the Elsa's ability to rush it and bounce it back by Justice.
Yeah, Jordan here going to be playing the Tipo. Is he going to be inking the second star? I mean, I feel like that's kind of out at this point, but unfortunately not able to see what he does ink. Is going to be inking the Let It Go right now, bringing him up to 9. I mean, surely he keeps the second star right now, right? I mean, that is basically going to get him back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, that would be slow. That would be slow because you had to hard cast it with your own ink, but not sing it together with your characters on board. But still, you have to find the answer, and that's the only way right now we thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, this game is not looking hot for Jordan. I mean, he's managed to tech out the deck so far against Dogs, but Justice is also playing slowly. So that is kind of the way that Jordan can get out of this, or find a way to get out of this. Is the good thing is there's time, right? There is time right now. Justice is gonna start cutting that time down a little bit. He's just going to start questing with the traps on his side of the field, going to bring him up to 4. But 4 is way better than 12, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Justice going to be passing it over to the side of Jordan here. Jordan draws. It seems like he has a card in his hand. So that means, I mean, I'm hopeful that the second star is there.
Yeah. So maybe luckily that he saw Justice just ink the Mowgli to his ink well. Yeah, does not discard it. And a non-character to his discard pile. And right now Justice is considering which card need to play. And we do
You mean
know
Jordan,
that...
right?
Yeah,
Jordan, yeah.
Sorry, my bad. Jordan is considering it. And we do know that he's got Elsa in his hand.
Okay, gonna be inking the Iago here. We do see 10 ink. We are gonna be hard casting the second star to the right. We all knew that that was gonna be coming. Now, does he get his answers? Is he looking? Does he get the Hades Infernal Schemer? Does he get the Wasabi? This is Jordan's time to shine, or rather, next turn is the time for him to shine. Right? There's nothing that he can really do here with that Tipo. Gonna be passing it over to Justice at this point of time. Justice has only 5 lore on the board without the Lilos, but now with the Lilos, 9 lore on the board, pushing additional pressure to the side of JV. Justice still hasn't played any units from his hand, and keep in mind, Blurple has very little ways to deal with multiple characters. Justice is going to be inking a Rhino to play. A Rhino going to be reducing the strength of the Tipo to 0. Justice going to be questing out here for 5, bringing him up to 9. Jordan needs to punch back this turn.
Yep, so Justice right now is having 10 lore on table, and it's easy for him to keep growing, and that's a 2-turn game, and Jordan need to find answer. And with the second star to the right, he already have a bunch of cards in hand, but is he going to search for the result that he is looking for? Search for the card he is looking for.
Yeah, I mean, look, you need to at least keep, I think, 4 for the Wasabi. I mean, the Wasabi, it all starts with the Wasabi, right? If you're able to get the Wasabi, then you can start swinging into things like the Lilo. And sorry, my bad, Jordan Justice does bring himself up to 11 because you have double Lilo, 1 Rhino. So the lady decides the Dogs here quests for 3 instead of the 1. So Jordan starts us off with a Junior Woodchuck guidebook. Pops it as well on play, so that's going to be 3 for Jordan. That is 7 ink left for his side. So if he decides to commit it fully onto the Hades Infernal Schemer, yeah, you may be able to survive 1 more turn, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
Yeah, because right now Justice is already having 11 lore in total with 10 lore on table.
On the board, yeah.
On the board, yeah. That's the game time.
Yeah,
you have to find the solutions. But remember that Tipo is 0 strength right now.
Yeah, Tipo can't swing into anything. Jordan, I think, still has access to the Elsa as well, but Elsa and a 2 ink left over isn't going to really solve it. Even with 3 ink left over, it's not enough to play the Wasabi either. You do see an exertion coming out from JV. JV going to be swinging into one of the Lilos. Does allow him to live this turn. right? So Justice doesn't have enough on the board unless he's able to play 3 characters and then quest for 3 with the lady. How does Jordan deal with this? He plays, he draws into the 2 1-drops with the second star. Never feels great.
Yep. So right now, Tipo have zero strength, and he just go for lore instead of challenging Justice character, and placing Royal Guard and Rafiki's on board. I mean,
Yeah, Justice.
Yeah, that's maybe that's the game for Justice.
Yeah, because we are going to see, I think, 2 characters being played right now for Justice. Does he have one more character in his hand? Does have one more. Ink left is not going to have any other character, so does not have game, I think, this turn. Right, that is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No. Okay, so does bring him up to, I think, 19 here.
Yep.
Yeah, so JV needs the answer now. We are going to pop the Junior Woodchuck Guidebook. It is going to be the final 2 cards I think that JV is going to see. It is Ezreal C being played again. There's one more card, last card maybe that JV gets to see.
Will he search for the Wasabi? Will he search for 2 Wasabi that...
And that's going to be game here. So Chronicon doing so much work for the side of Justice. And congratulations for Justice for making it all the way to the top 8.